Hello, PreCalc. It's the 18th of February and the night before our test. So I didn't get quite to go over the last two. So let me look at number 19 on this little review sheet. And I'm going to go a little quicker so I don't have so much time to upload. But you can press pause at any time. So the first one, we were asked to expand x minus 4y to the fifth. This is called a binomial, and we are expanding it, multiplying it times itself 5 times. To do that, we use the binomial theorem or Pascal's triangle. Since 5 is fairly small, I think I'll use the triangle and the pattern rather than the theorem. So I remember from our training that when we're raising a binomial to the fifth, there's going to be 6 terms. So I gave myself 6 blanks. Then I will recall that the first term is going to be signified as my A. So my X is signified as my A. Come back to me. All right. So my first term, X, is going to be my A, and minus 4Y is going to be my B, and this 5 is an N. I'll notice that in the first term, my A term appears at the maximum, and that is to the fifth. So I'm going to go down the line, and then from there it'll decrease. So let's see if I can get most of them in one shot. So notice how I took my A term, which in this case is X. It started at the max, and the next term it decreased and went on down the line until it didn't appear at all. X to the 0 I didn't write in because that's just going to be a 1. Then in the next line of thinking, the second term, which I call the B term, minus 4y, will not appear in the first term, but it will appear in the second term. So it didn't appear at all in the first. Didn't appear at all in the first term. In the second term, it appeared once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. The only thing that I'm missing now is the coefficients in front of the terms, and that I can find by Pascal's triangle. I'm going to go down until I find a row that has how many blanks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 blanks in it, because that's how many I have, so it has to match. And I find that in this row right here, that there are 6 numbers. So those will be put up in as my coefficients in front of each term. So I'm going to grab the 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1, and I put them in 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. Now I just have to multiply everything out and simplify. The first term, the 1 is unwritten, becomes x to the fifth. The second term requires me to take a 5 times a minus 4, and the rest, 10 times a minus 4 squared. It's a positive. Then we had to take minus 4 and raise it to the third, which is a negative, times 10. And down here, minus 4 raised to the fourth is a positive number, times 5. And negative 4 raised to the fifth is a negative number. And there we have the whole expansion. All right, hopefully that you could follow. All right, then the second one, like that, is find the fifth term of this expansion. Now this time I don't prefer to use Pascal's triangle 10 rows worth. So I'm going to use the binomial theorem, and I could do it the same way I just did the last one. I'm only interested in the fifth term. I don't have to expand it out the whole way. So let's see. Here's the binomial theorem, and it will give you the whole expansion. I'm only interested in the fifth term, so I'm going to take this information and apply it to the fifth term. So I need to identify n, r, a, and b. So my n is going to be the number here that I'm raising the binomial to, and the r is going to be the fifth term. We'll deal with that in a second. And this value is my x, and this value is my a. 2x is my a, and negative 3y is my b. See? And I know I only went the fifth term. This is going to have 11 terms in it, but I'm only interested in the fifth. So I wrote out 5 blanks, and each one, I noticed that my counter r started with 0. So I put r equals 0 under the first, 1, 2, 3. And I noticed on the fifth term that r was only 4. So if you recall from our working class, the fifth term took on an r of 4. It was 1 less. So now I know the numbers that and my a is the first expression, b is the second. So I think I've got everything to plug it in. So the fifth term will be n factorial, which is 10 over n minus r, in this case 10 minus 4, 6, and then r factorial is 4. And then the first expression, 2x, is raised to the 10 minus 4, and the last expression is raised to, there's supposed to be an r there, I'm sorry. All right, to the 4th. All right, so now I just have to simplify. So my factorial training shows me to take 10, 9, 8, 7, and stop at 6 factorial. Cross out the 6 factorials. Rewrite 4 is 4, 3, 2. I think what I did, if I recall, I took the 4 and the 2 and crossed out the 8, and I took the 3 into the 9 3 times. 10 times 3 times 7 gave me 210. Then I have the first term, 2x raised to the 6, like here, and negative 3y raised to the 4th. So the 210, 2 raised to the 6 is 64. Negative 3 raised to the 4th is 81. These 3 numbers are multiplied together, and this is x to the 6th, y to the 4th. All right, so I got that number, and I hope you did as well. If not, if I made a mistake and don't know about it, we'll hash it out before the test. Just bring your work in. All right, with that review and the other review paper I left with you, from the other day, I think, and the answers to that, I think you'll be able to prepare well. Look over your homeworks and look at all the different kind of problems we did on the videos, and study, study, study. Again, if you're going to prepare your card and forego the extra credit points, that's fine. Make sure you have that card ready when you come in with the formulas from this chapter. All right, have a good evening, and I hope this is helpful. Bye.